My name is Mark Polton. I'm a buy and hold real estate investor in the greater Charlotte, North Carolina area. Today I wanted to talk about knowing your product. My product is obviously single family homes. We do have one duplex. Had an interesting talk with a commercial real estate broker regarding multifamily, but that's something I'd like to get into eventually. But we're still trying to perfect our single family home. And I have two homes in lower class neighborhood. Rent's real good. I mean, just God, I wish I owned every home in that neighborhood. But it's interesting to look at demographics. I went from an A-class property to probably a C-plus property today to do work. A-class property's clean. It's having some plumbing issues, which is driving me nuts, but get that figured out. And then I go to my C-plus, maybe on its way to a B-minus, and it's just a very, very different culture. It's a very, very different demographic, and it's a very different level of cleanliness in the homes. I like to look at trends. I like to see patterns and stuff like that. I look at my house. It's not the greatest house in the world. I've owned it for about 11 years, and it's got all the builder grade stuff in there, but I could easily upgrade everything and make it look really, really nice. Instead, I'm taking that money and I'm putting it into my rental homes and making those look nice. So just a very, very different demographic. We buy for dishwashers. We typically provide a stove and a dishwasher. I'm not huge. I really don't want to provide any appliances, but for the most part, the stoves last a long time. We buy everything used. I've learned to buy Bosch dishwashers. They're pretty cheap and I mean used. They're usually well used. I can get one for typically $100, and sometimes less. Sometimes people are just offloading them, and we'll get a good deal. And maybe stainless steel one's $150, but I used to be really picky and want like black appliances and stuff like that, and now it's just white because it's usually easier and cheaper. But we don't get bad ones. We don't get bad cheap stoves with the little coils on them. They're ceramic cooktop stoves. So I had picked up a Bosch dishwasher, and God, I probably had it 2 or 3 years, and it was on top of a refrigerator in my Airbnb in the garage. And I wasn't supposed to provide a dishwasher in this home, but I did. And, or let me rephrase that. I wasn't supposed to provide a dishwasher. The people who live there don't speak much English. I think they use their 8-year-old son to do most of the translation, and his vocabulary just isn't that big. So it's difficult to do. They said they were going to bring all their appliances. Now, normally when I'm rehabbing a home, certainly 4 or 5 weeks before it's going to be done, I'm sourcing appliances and stuff like that, because it could take several weeks before I can find a good enough deal. Also, I want to make sure they work. Oftentimes there is some kind of problem that's going to require a part. Oftentimes with dishwashers, it's like a mounting bracket. In this case, there are no mounting brackets, so I'm going to have to order those. But I hooked it up, and it's a little dirty, but I got the drain line hooked up, I got this water supply, and I got the power. And you could hear, so when I tried to run the cycle, you could hear the drain motor, because the first thing the dishwasher does when you first turn it on is it tries to drain any water that's in there in case it lost power during a cycle. And there's water in the bottom. But I never heard it fill. And this had a braided stainless steel cable on it for water supply. But I noticed it had one of those flow protectors on there. And I love those things. I think they're great. However, if you don't have a water pressure regulator, those things can be a real pain in the butt. Meaning that there's too much water pressure, and it just automatically shuts off. Now, I don't want to be working on this house anymore. I want to be done. So it's one of those things where I just want to get in and get out. It's been difficult due to COVID. Just getting a kitchen in there and stuff like that. So there's really only a few things left, and that was one of them. So I went to Home Depot, ended up getting just your standard PEX 3/8 inch or 1/4 inch or whatever it is, 5 foot, which apparently isn't enough. But I made it work, and I basically unhooked the braided one. I hooked in the new one on the outside, going through the outside of the cabinet to the bottom of the Bosch dishwasher. Tried it, worked fine. So it came down to kind of knowing your product and knowing how it works. I have actually a bunch of those braided lines. This one came with it, I believe. I have a bunch of those braided lines that I bought on clearance from Home Depot, and frankly I just haven't been able to use them because we don't put water pressure regulators on any of our homes. Typically, especially on these homes in these poorer neighborhoods, we're replumbing the whole damn thing in PEX anyways, which can handle the water pressure. Not really all that worried about it. So it's all new fittings, all new supply valves. We put in a shut off. If there was any copper, most of it was probably taken a long time ago and stuff like that. And really, by understanding my product, which is understanding Bosch dishwashers, understanding the supply lines and stuff like that, I was able to pinpoint quickly what the major problem was. Rarely do we ever see on these Bosch dishwashers a problem with water getting into the unit, because it's just a valve that opens up and lets water in, right? So usually it's like a pump or something along that line, or there is a metering device for the water, but it just seemed odd that it wasn't getting enough water in it. But anyways, turned out okay. Not sure the customer's gonna be happy, but we're gonna try. Anyways, those are my comments and my thoughts. Leave yours in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. And if you actually watch this till the end, you are the only one. I wish you success.